homesteaders, gardeners, and cooks. My name is Jennifer. Welcome to Miles Away Farm. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen. Today I am making something that I am kind of obsessed with recently, and that is cold sesame noodles. Although this recipe also works beautifully with just hot noodles as well. So it's an Asian dish, and it's essentially like a peanut sauce, but instead of using peanut butter, you're using tahini. The original recipe calls for a Chinese sesame paste, and as a substitution, because I don't have an Asian grocery anywhere near me, I am just using tahini, which is basically sesame paste. If you look at the ingredients on tahini, it says ground sesame seeds. That's it. So we are using tahini. If you've never used tahini before, I highly recommend that you branch out and give this a try. It's basically peanut butter, but it's made with sesame seeds instead of peanuts. It's absolutely delicious, and it has a ton of different applications. And you can find it in any grocery store just nearby where the peanut butter is. So it's always in the same section. The only other unusual ingredient in this recipe is Chinese black vinegar. And this I did, I believe, order from Amazon. I can't remember for sure, but again, we don't have a local or an Asian grocery store. And so we have one about an hour away. I might have ordered it there, but I think I ordered this online. It is a very distinct flavor, and so it's probably worth seeking out, although I think you could substitute other vinegars in a pinch if you were just, wanting to get a close approximation. This recipe originally comes from Cooks Illustrated, which is one of my favorite go-to sites. And I've made this now probably 3 or 4 times this summer. And it's become a really great recipe to take to potlucks because it doesn't have anything in it that's going to go bad from sitting at room temperature. It comes together very quickly, and you can play with what's in it without a lot of fuss. And so it's easy to incorporate various vegetables. And then we've also had it with just grilled chicken or poached chicken. So it's very good with chicken as well. The other homegrown garden ingredient that's going to go into this is spring onions or green onions or scallions. That's all the same thing. These got planted all the way back in mid-May. So these have been in the ground for a really long time. They're getting quite large, but there's just a few more out there. I harvested and sold most of them, and then I have a few that I just haven't harvested. They were in amongst my potatoes. I like to plant my scallions interspersed with my potatoes, and then about the time they're big enough to harvest, the potatoes are getting so big that they're starting to shade them out, and so it's a nice mix of two things to put together. But green onions from the garden, absolutely delicious. And then I'm also going to top this with garden cucumbers. So we're still getting cucumbers. It is now the 17th of October, so we're getting late in the season, but we haven't had a frost yet, and this particular variety of cucumber just keeps producing. So I'm still getting cucumbers as well. So cucumbers and green onions and a little bit of cilantro going on the top of this. And again, you could incorporate any kind of protein you wanted, from chicken to tofu to whatever else. So delicious recipe. Definitely a staple in my kitchen right now, and really good for taking to potlucks. Let's get started. So I'm just going to make a quick pickle with one of my cucumbers here. And I'm taking the middle seed portion out just because it's kind of become a habit over the summer. And you can slice this any way you want, into slivers or chunks. I just went with chunks here. And then I'm just making this up. I'm throwing a little bit of rice wine vinegar on there, a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, a pinch of red pepper flakes, and stirring that up with my hand. And I'm making this first so that it has a chance to sit for a little while before I start making the sauce. So I've got a total of 5 tablespoons of soy sauce, 4 teaspoons of black vinegar, 2 tablespoons of sugar, a tablespoon of chili oil, and I'm using some chili crisp oil that I happen to have on hand, 1/4 cup of tahini, and I'm putting a sprinkle of toasted sesame oil in there, some fresh ginger, and then I completely forgot to put the garlic in this particular batch, but you should have a couple of cloves of garlic in there as well. And then just give everything a stir, and this emulsifies pretty quickly and comes together. I'm boiling a pound of spaghetti, and you can use whatever kind of noodles you've got on hand or what you like, from gluten-free to rice. And then I'm going to chop up a couple of these scallions, and I'm chopping the white part pretty thin and then leaving the green part a little more chunky. And the scallion is huge. And our spaghetti is done. And I'm just going to rinse that to get the starch off of it and also to cool off those noodles. And then once that's well drained, that gets mixed in with your sauce along with your scallion. And then you're just going to top this with some fresh cilantro and our quick pickle. You guys, this recipe is so delicious. I could literally probably eat this every day. I really, really like it. And it comes together super fast. I'm actually thinking about like tripling the recipe for the sauce and just keeping it in a jar in the fridge so that I have it on hand. But that's all there is to it. Fantastic. Give this recipe a try, you guys. Thanks for watching, Tribe. If you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment or share. I have new content coming out every week.